All right, y'all. So it is 4 something in the morning and the bitch couldn't sleep. So I went up to the 24-hour restaurant and got me something to eat. And while I was sitting there, this just came across my mind. Is it okay for Hispanic people to use the word nigga? And I ask because I found myself in a conundrum. So I've started hanging out at this new bar, and at this bar, the rich cars don't be there. It's a dive bar, you know, girl, the Honda cars, the working class cars be there. But it's a real cool, laid back spot. It's a hole in the wall with a jukebox in the corner. Nonetheless, the overwhelming population in that, most of the people in that bar are Hispanic, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Ecuador, Mexican. Like it's a, you know, for the most part. And a lot of the people in there freely use the N-word with one another. And at the very end of the day, that's not something I can control. But when it comes to them using the word with me, I'm really conflicted on how I feel. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you, it really doesn't bother me much. But the National Coalition of Black People said I'm supposed to be mad about it and I'm supposed to check that behavior. So I did. One day I was in there hanging out and this guy walked up and he was talking and he was like, some, and that nigga. And I turned around and I said, hey, watch that word, all right? And it was no harm, no foul. We went on for the rest of the night. Then the next time, one of the guys that I've made friends in there, we're talking and he, you know, just straight up be like, you know, what up, my nigga, this, and nah, them niggas be tripping. I mean, just use it the same way we use it on a day-to-day basis. And he's a Cuban guy. At first I was like, oh, this feels unfamiliar. But it didn't upset me. And should it have? Like I said, it doesn't bother me, but all the black people said I'm supposed to be mad, and I'm not. So I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? The conclusion that I've drawn is that if I'm going to continue to hang out at this place, it would be a waste of my time trying to go around and police the word every day and we all in there to have a good time. Last instance was the waitress. I mean, not the waitress, the bartender. Real cool girl. She's either Cuban. I think she's Cuban as well. She was talking about the other guy that I just told y'all about, the Cuban guy. And she was like, yeah, you know, he did this that night and he was doing this and the owner saw it. And I told that nigga, you gotta stop. Like, dude, cut it out. And so it was after she used it that I was like, all right, Q, you gonna have to let this go. Because it just feels like, I mean, truthfully, it feels like they grew up using and saying the word in the inner city, kind of like Veronica Vega. And again, it doesn't upset me personally, but there's some unspoken rule book out there that says I'm supposed to be mad and be setting up a march so we shall overcome outside these people establishment, and that's not what I feel. If they were white, you know, 100% white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, I think that would have upset me. But for whatever reason, and not making excuses, but if you close your eyes and listen to them talk, you would think that you were in the company of a black person. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, they like the same music, they same swag, same style of dress. And so because their use of the word is not coming from a place of hate whatsoever, but more from basically a pop culture moniker type of space, it don't bother me. It doesn't bother me to the point that I feel like I need to continuously make a fuss and make some sort of correction about it. I mean, for crying out loud, the first guy that said it that made me slightly uncomfortable, the bitch is from Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's Ecuadorian, and as far as the United States is concerned, in this particular area of town, they lump him in with the damn Mexicans, which from my understanding amongst Hispanic people, they view that as kind of like the lowest of the low. I'm not saying that, but I've been under the impression that they're like on the bottom of the totem pole socially. So, I don't know, but y'all help me through this one. How am I supposed to feel? Do I just let it go? Do I stop making this bigger than it needs to be? Like, I'm just really conflicted. And y'all know, being conflicted is not a trait that describes me often. And what's the word I'm looking for? When you can't make a decision. What's the word, y'all? Indecisive. Being indecisive is actually a trait I despise in people because I'm a very black and white person. But on this one right here, I'm torn. So y'all help me out with this. Is it okay? Is my confusion right now warranted? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Or am I supposed to be mad and ready to lead a charge? I'm not sure, but that was on my mind this morning as I ate a BLT at 3 in the morning at the 24-hour spot. So I figured I'd come and talk to y'all about it. Nonetheless, y'all continue to enjoy these little conversations, my little random thoughts at 4 in the morning. And be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll call y'all later on today with the Black Ink crew and the Braxton Family Values and whatever else Kanye and Kim done did this week. I'll call you later, girl. Bye.